Yeah, welcome back to the second segment of the Harry Thomas Show Week in Review. Today is January 26th, 2008. The website is harrythomas.info. I'm your host, Harry Thomas, and this week is actually the third anniversary of the show. The show started in January of 2005. What I want to get into now is the Fed. They may keep cutting interest rates. There could be more interest rate cuts to come as the U.S. Federal Reserve tries to head off recession. And this here is what causes these bubbles and the inflation. And this is putting a stranglehold on the middle class. And these elitists want the middle class to disappear. Crisis far from over, even with the emergency cut. The Federal Reserve's huge emergency rate cut on Tuesday did little to allay fears of brewing U.S. recession, even though the panic selling in global stock markets has moderated. Now, Cramer calls for an investigation of the Fed. Popular financial expert questions Bernanke's obsession with wild interest rate cuts. The man has no idea what he's doing. Popular financial expert Jim Mad Money Cramer has called for the Federal Reserve to be investigated in light of recent wild interest rate cuts, insinuating that the Fed is following a different agenda to the interests of the American people as the economy teeters on the brink of a recession. Now, Cramer has turned up the heat against the Fed in recent months, famously stating they had run amok and were an unregulated group of people who, frankly, are not responsive or held accountable to anybody. And he had an interview with Congressman Ron Paul. This is what was said.
This is 2007. YouTube is king in so many ways. I never thought we would have so much in common, Congressman Paul, but you and I have struck a chord and become YouTube sensations. And it's about an unlikely topic. It's about the Federal Reserve. And we know even the younger people are into it. Why is it that your message, my message, somewhat critical, absolutely critical of the Fed, is just reaching home to so many young people and actually everyone throughout the country?
Well, to me, it's utterly amazing. When I go to the college campuses, I get the loudest applause when I criticize the Fed and indicate that I don't even like the Fed and think we should talk about getting rid of it. So it is an important issue, and I think this is the first time in over 100 years that it's become an issue in a presidential campaign. So I'm really excited about it because the monetary issue is something that has driven me to get involved in politics for a long time.
Now, you have been, I think, spot on in saying that the Federal Reserve created the stock bubble with low margin rates and it created the housing bubble with low mortgage rates. Yet I never hear about anyone talking about investigating the Fed in Congress. It's a creature of Congress. Why don't we do it?
You're absolutely right. That's why I introduce a bill constantly to audit the Federal Reserve. We've created the Federal Reserve, and it has no oversight. We don't even know if they have the gold there anymore. And it's so important, yet there's no oversight. I think it's even more secret than the CIA. So to me, it ought to be open, and the American people ought to know. But unfortunately, the members of Congress don't have much interest or concern or understanding of how the Fed works, so they are totally neglectful.
Now, Ron Paul's right. You know, we don't even know if the gold is there yet. And he tried putting in legislation to have an audit on the gold, and they won't do it. Now, tell me something isn't amiss here. This reeks of corruption. Now, let the market crash now or face financial train wreck. Experts encourage facing reality that stocks are overvalued due to a weak dollar, but the Fed set to continue with dangerous sweeping rate cuts. The Fed's continued obsession with slashing interest rates and printing money in order to maintain the facade of a grossly overvalued stock market while the dollar collapses is precipitating a financial holocaust. Yuppies need to cut their losses and accept a soft crash now or place the very pillars of the American economy in danger. Facing the reality of the fact that the stock market is grossly overvalued due to the weakness of the dollar and is due a severe correction seems impossible to accept for the yuppies who have buried their heads in the sand and consumed establishment propaganda that the economy is in good shape for the past 3 years. And that's exactly what they've been doing, saying, oh, everything's okay, don't worry about it, everything is just fine, go back to sleep. The dollar and the market mess. This came out Wednesday, January 23rd, 2008. Lenin was surely right. There is no subtler, no surer means of overturning the existing basis of society than to debauch the currency. The process engages all the hidden forces of economic law on the side of destruction, and does it in a manner which not one man in a million is able to diagnose. Current debauchment is a choice. Most governments don't want to debauch their currency. It's just that they don't want to take the actions that might prevent it, because those actions are perceived to be intolerably painful. Thus, it was that last fall the Federal Reserve's World Central Bank decided to let the dollar go, because staying the course on interest rates might threaten the world's financial system, or so the argument goes. Now listen to this, the World Central Bank, the Federal Reserve. Why do we have a central bank controlling our money? It does not account, it's not afforded for in the Constitution. The Constitution says that our money should be backed by hard money, currency. You just don't print money out of thin air. I mean, this is just ridiculous, and it's criminal. George Soros predicts the worst recession in 50 years. Amidst the collapsing stock prices worldwide, the billionaire investor George Soros has told an Austrian daily that the United States is threatened with recession and the world is facing the worst financial crisis in half a century. The situation is much more serious than any other financial crisis since the end of World War II, he was quoted as saying. Now, I reported a couple months ago that George Soros traded in all his dollars for Chinese currency. So he is not investing in the dollar. He traded that in, turned all his dollars into Chinese currency. Now think about that. This is an insider billionaire. With recession looming, McCain offers happy talk. Underpinnings of economy are strong, he says. Unwilling to take accountability for the last 7 years of mismanagement over the nation's economy, conservatives are eager to portray the current economic downturn as a momentary hiccup and a temporary drag. John McCain said, quote, "I still believe our fundamental underpinnings of our economy are strong." President Bush said, quote, "I believe we can find common ground to get something done that's big enough, effective enough, so that an economy that is inherently strong gets a boost." And Ed Lazier, the chairman of in the Council of Economic Advisors, says the structure of the American economy is sound. McCain has also already admitted that he doesn't really know much about economics. And it's something that he should know a little bit more about. I would say so if you're running for president. Again, McCain is acting like nothing but a shill for global bankers. Go ahead and research McCain for yourself. You'll find out. American interest rates are set to tumble as low as 2.5% by early spring as U.S. policymakers battle to restore stability to a faltering economy. Now, they are killing this dollar on purpose, and they're doing this to bring in the Amero. And I'm going to be talking about that in the next segment. This push for world government, world domination, and this Amero. Okay, so stay there. We're going to be back right after this. Thanks for listening.
Let's all say goodbye to the Federal Reserve. No more IRS breathing down our neck. Congressman Paul says that there's a chance that we might bring our freedom back. No more UN, get us out of Iraq. No more NAFTA, no more GATT. If you wanna follow the Constitution, it's time to join the revolution. I don't know where we went wrong, but we've been on this road too long. There's a landslide on the way, coming down election day.